Hey guys, it's Lisa, back with another video for you for Lisa Wise Designs. And today we're going to continue in our series on our Christmas, Thanksgiving, two-sided blocks and album. I hope you're loving this project. I absolutely am in love with it, and I cannot wait to put some of my pictures from this year in it. If you're just joining us midway, you can go back a few videos and start at the beginning of this series, and there's also a playlist on this. But we're on day 4, and so I will get right started. This is where we have made our blocks. This will be the front and the back. I'm so happy now to have 2, so I don't have to keep flipping them over and dropping them. I gotta move those out of the way. Okay. This is where we're going. This is the one we are working on. So quick flip through. We have finished the inside of this one. I did that. And then today we're going to be working on this side here. And you've got some pictures, and of course there's a file folder mini that goes in there. I'll show you that in a minute. And we have not started on the Christmas one yet, but there is a tag and Rudolph, and this flips up and has a photo. And of course I have done this a couple of times for you in greater detail, but just real quickly. I love this. I can't wait to do this layering again. Come on. Here we go. And kind of talk you through my process. Okay, let's kind of put you away. And if you're following along in your cutting guide, I'm on 14, and we finished up on the very top of 14. So now we're going to be right here in the middle of 14. So this is kind of what I have. I have one sheet of pattern paper in the fall that hasn't been cut down yet. So this is the one that we're going to be working on. It's going to be go behind our pocket. So we're going to cut it in this orientation. It's going to be 6 3/4 wide by 4 1/2 tall. So you want your animals, right, to be in the right orientation. So it's going to look like this. And like I said, this is the middle of 14. And then, let me see here, we have this little strip. So I just used my scraps to make a strip here, this green dot, 6 1/2 by 1. That's going to go here. So now we need to make some decisions further down the line to let us know what we need to cut now. So we already used one of our 4x6 cards. This is what I'm going to make. Hopefully we get through this today, but you see where it says give thanks, this card? We need to choose now. Are you going to use this one or this one? Because on my example here, I want to use what's behind these 4x6 cards. This really pretty plaid on this, and it's 6 1/2 wide. So that's going to kind of use up 2 cards. So you need 2 that are together. So just make a decision if you want to use give thanks or this one that says falling with you. And I really like the give thanks one, so I'm going to go back with that. And I'm going to use this one too. So like I say, once you make that decision, now we know what to cut for our pocket. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, I know I want to keep this one, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it, but I'm not going to cut it straight at 4. I'm going to come over 1/4 inch and use some of this pretty border. So I'm going to basically cut it. If I turn it this way, it'll be more helpful. If I cut it at 4 1/4, and you can kind of see, I'm going to back off just a little bit. Don't want too much of those leaves in there, just to give me a small border here, because the file folder is a little bit bigger area than that. So instead of having to put something else down there, I can show you this again up close. See, I've got this right here. It just kind of helps sometimes to think through that. So now this is going to have to be sacrificed because we want to use the back of this paper. That's the only bad thing when they only send you one sheet, right? So this one is going to be 6 1/2 wide by 2 3/8. So I'm going to go 2 3/8, which is just a little bit less than 2 1/2. Put this on my scraps. And then it's going to be, when I say 6 1/2, it's going to open this. 6 1/2 here. There we go. So we basically have what we need now to do our pocket. We're probably going to have to do some trimming on this animal paper to go inside our pocket, so I'm just going to keep my trimmer out for now. And throughout this whole process of putting this together, I'm using Distress ink in Black Soot. That's kind of my go-to when I'm using a black base. That's kind of how I usually choose. And sorry if you hear my washing machine going, right? It's like, welcome to my home. And you might hear my sausage dog. She likes to come and visit at least once every hour and tell me there's someone in the backyard by barking. Okay, let's go back here. Still on the fall side. I'm gonna open this up, working on the left-hand side. I'm gonna open my flaps. And so this is what we're working on, this pocket here. So this plaid piece is going to go all the way down to the bottom of the pocket, but you're going to have 1/8 of an inch on the two sides and at the top. Because, and I said this a couple of videos ago, you've got about 1/8 of an inch at the bottom of this before you get to the bottom of the actual album. So your eye still sees there's 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Then the green strip, come on, it's going to go on top of this. And then we're going to put a sticker. And there's a good picture of this in the middle of page 14. So let's take a look at this big animal paper. I'm probably gonna have to take a 1/16 or so off of that to get it to fit into my pocket. So I'm just gonna start by taking some slivers off and just keep working it. I want it to be as big as it can be, but still fit inside the pocket. Don't think that's quite got it. One more time. Let's see if, yeah, that's gonna do it. Okay. I can put this away for a second. Side that I just trimmed, I'm gonna make sure I go back over it. Now let's see, so put it in the pocket, and then I'm gonna pull it up to where there's about 1/8 of an inch at the top. Just like so. And then I'm going to glue it down. Oh, I haven't even opened my glue this morning. Let me get something to try it out. Find my trash here. There we go. And I probably have to flip this around so I can kind of see what I'm doing. Because like I say, sometimes it's easier for me to kind of manipulate this, but I also sometimes really would rather have it exactly lined up as much as possible than have glue on every part of the surface. So I think that's good. Just gonna hold it in place, and I'm gonna glue down this half as best I can. Give that a little bit of time. I'm gonna flip this back around. Because you're just going to use this as a pocket. You don't have to have glue on the bottom. Of course, it's nice to have that. But like I said, art glitter glue works so fast. Sometimes I can't get it back in the exact same spot before it adheres. So I'm kind of resort to this technique. And then let's see. Yeah, I think everything's glued pretty good. Okay. Excuse me. I'm feeling a little bit earlier than I normally do, so my throat. I guess I haven't talked to anybody this morning except Latte. And she was adamant that I was late to give her breakfast, even though it was like 15 minutes. I don't know how they tell time. It's like, how does a dog know? I guess their stomach knows. Okay, like I said, I put this all the way down flush at the bottom of the pocket because you still have about 1/8 of an inch or a little bit less down here of the actual album. So you still can kind of see there's 1/8 of an inch just about all the way around. So I'm just going to eyeball center this. And I was thinking the other day when I was putting this together, how funny it is how sometimes I can eyeball it and I'm absolutely fine with it, and in some instances I have to measure. And I don't know what that is. I don't know why, and I don't know what the reason is. In my brain, like, okay, well, this I absolutely have to measure. Like putting down those magnets. I really wanted them to be in a certain spot. I don't know why. You know, as long as it's underneath the photos, it's okay. So let's go back to our stickers. And I'm going to use this one that says Falls in the Air. Okay, I'm gonna hit it if it needs it with some black. Not too much white is showing here. And see how it's this picking up that green from here to here? So I'm just gonna kind of eyeball center this from left to right and then top to bottom. That looks pretty good. Simple and very cute. This is a lot of pattern going on here. So when I start putting stuff here, I'm not going to probably add a lot more, anything like competing with that. Okay, so the next part of this was cutting out the file folder and working on the file folder. But I think since I'm right here, I'm going to skip down to the bottom of 15 and go ahead and do my flaps, and then we'll come back to the file folder. So what I have done, if you're wanting to use those index cards, I stamped mine in the orientations that I wanted to use if I'm giving this as a gift, and I'll have it linked below. This is the stamp set from May May Made It in Action. I use that one a lot. And what you're going to do is cut 1/7/8 by 6 pieces, but like these doesn't have an orientation, so you don't have to worry about it. But this one, of course, does. It's got like a fox in it. This one's got like a bear. So actually, I need to choose which one I'm going to use. I think it's this one because I'm using the back on this. Yeah. So this is what I chose for mine, and you can see that picture on the bottom of 15. So this is the only one you really have to worry about the orientation because it's going to be vertical. And most of my pictures I take with my iPhone, so they are vertical because you usually, you have to tell yourself to turn it the horizontal way like a traditional camera. And then I took the sticker of the bear and I put it on black cardstock, there we go, and then just fussy cut around it. So those are the pieces that you need right now. So even if you're not going to glue in these index cards, this will help you by taking one to kind of get your placement in the book of where you want things. So, like I say, I do a lot of vertical photos, so I'm going to do the majority of mine vertical. Do this here, and then I'm going to put this with the animals here. Let me see. I don't guess I hit this one with my black. Oh, I just didn't get it dark enough, I guess. There we go. So it's kind of pulling from here. You see how this kind of mimics this. It's just a little larger. And then this bear kind of mimics the animals here. So that's what kind of pulls all this together. Plus you see the animals back there in the plaid. So anyway, it kind of all pulls together here. So I don't know if I've mentioned, I think I did a couple of videos ago, these flaps were designed so that you don't have to choose between vertical and horizontal photos while you're making the album. You can put them, like I'm doing vertical and I'm going to do a horizontal one. So the flaps are made exactly to do that. And then you take up what's left with these strips here and you use up your decorative paper scraps that you have. So if you don't know which photos that you're going to have, if you want to wait, that's fine. You can go ahead and cut strips that don't have an orientation like these and just put them in your book, like in the pocket. And when you develop your pictures, then you can decide, okay, all mine was horizontal or more of them was horizontal than vertical, and then just put your strips down. Either way. All right, since I don't have my picture in yet, I'm just going to put glue on this side of the bear to hold him in place down here, and then still have room later on to come back and insert my photo right there. Mr. Bear, it's so cute. He's so cute. I can't wait to put my new grandbaby stuff in here. It's gonna be adorable. All right, so I'm gonna open this up. And so on this one, I decided to hold a spot for my one horizontal photo and use this plaid. So as you're kind of looking at the whole look here, you can kind of see this plaid kind of goes. And you could actually use that plaid too if you had enough of that left over. Goes here. That's cute. Let's go with that. I'm only putting a little bit of glue here because I'm hoping in theory I can go back when I want to add photos and take this off without causing too much damage. And I know that you can pick up repositionable glues, but I don't have any. All mine's permanent, so I'm just gonna put just a little bit on there to hold it in place, and then hopefully when I peel it off, it won't cause too much damage, like I say, or you could just put your photo over it. All right, so now let's see where we are. I think we're probably on page 16. Flip on over, yes. So what I decided to do was try to use this in a unique way. Oh, I should have taken my liner off behind it, but it won't cause any problems. I've done that plenty of times and forgotten. So what I did is I just kind of eyeballed this and said, I don't like all this white space, but I really like this look. So I just went in here, like I said, you can see in the top of 16, the picture of it. And I just slice away all that extra white space here, and I can kind of give you a measurement where it kind of winds up. It's about 2 3/8. And this is another way you can use pocket cards. Don't be afraid to cut them up and use them in a different way than what they were designed for. And that way, now I have a nice little element to put right here. So I think I'm going to mat it. Let's see what I've got. Here's all my scraps I've got left. Yep, that's big enough. So when I've got this odd number, when I don't know exactly how big it is, I just kind of eyeball it. I put mine down and kind of eyeball 1/8 of an inch away and mark it. Of course, you could measure it, but sometimes I'm lazy. And sometimes it's such a weird measurement, I'm like, it's just easier to do it this way and faster. And you could glue it down and then cut it, but I find that I tend to cut crooked when I do that for some reason. I guess there's too many layers. So put that down, just like there. Now I can take this and just on the bottom part of it, I'm going to add some glue. I'm going to put this here, about right here, showing a little bit of the plaid at the bottom. I still can put my photo in right here. And then let's add a couple of stickers to this. So there is this one that's kind of an aqua blue that says happy. Gonna hit that. A bit of ink. And I put it up here in that big open white space. A little bit on the leaf like that. And then there is a harvest one right here that's all white. I thought this might be fun. So this is the only time that I actually used foam tape on the inside of the album. We don't want too much bulk. Let me see what kind of foam I had left over from the project. Yeah, we had a whole little piece. So this is a totally optional, of course. I'm just going to foam tape this up. And you'll have to also tell me if it is helpful putting every little thing in the kit like these little pieces of foam, that I absolutely can. Or if, or if you don't care about that, you've got lots of foam and lots of other, little items that you could put in your book to decorate. So the harvest then, you could put it here, you could put it in the middle of the leaves, whichever. I kind of wanted mine in the middle of the leaves to give a little bit of definition because it's on white. Isn't that cute? I love how that looks. All right, so now let's open this up. Like I said, this one has, this time I'm going to remember and take off my liner. And the only reason, it's not gonna hurt anything, the only reason is one time I forgot to take mine off making a mini album. And over the years when I open it, it's kind of got a crinkly sound to it. I was like, okay, well, I can't go back and take all that off. I'll ruin it. So I just live with the crinkly sound. But since then, I'm like, all right, you may need to, okay, Lisa, that's not where I want that. No. I won't edit that out. I'll let you see me. Because I want to bookend it together. I forgot. That's what I was going to do. Here we go. Well, at least I know now if I take these things out later, it won't cause too much damage. It just took a little bit of the paper off here. Yeah, this is what I wanted to do. I kind of want to bookend it like this with these two same pieces. I think that'll look better. So I'm going to put glue here. Then I'm going to put glue around here, around where that magnet is. And make sure I get a good stick around there since it's got bulk. Glue that down. And I decided to kind of leave this, like I said, plain. There's so much going on here. And then we put that file folder in. There's so much going on that I didn't even put any elements here. And another reason I didn't do that is a lot of the elements I have left have sayings on them, like pumpkins and harvest and thankful and autumn and give thanks. And I already have a saying here. I really, you know, if you put something here, to me it makes more sense to put an image or something there instead of more sayings in the same spot. It's kind of like a card. You know, once you have one saying in one layout look, it's kind of redundant, in my opinion, to put another one. So that's just my opinion. Plus, it looks, you know, pretty good just to have these bookend. But on the other one, on Christmas, I do actually, I put some elements there because it's not quite so, the paper's not quite so busy. Isn't that going to be pretty when we put pictures here? This whole look to me is so pretty. Okay, so close that up, and now magnets, click, still work. So are we done with fall? Everything but the file folder? Well, hallelujah. Oh, no, that was something my friend, I haven't seen her in a long time, used to say when she would say hallelujah. When we were growing up, I think she had a lisp. It was so cute. All right, so we're going to start on the file folder here. Let me pull all this stuff out, and then we have a tag somewhere. Did I get it out? I don't know. I'll come across it. Okay, so we cut this out. This is my sample. So you're going to need another one. So I chose this one. I'm going to put this one to the side. I'm going to show you the sample again, but there's pictures, of course, in here. So we're going to use the 4x6 cut apart. We're going to use stickers here, and we're going to kind of cut it or tear it like it's kind of washi tape. I'm going to put other stickers here. We open it up. Of course, you could put pictures on all 4 panels, and that way you could get more pictures in here. But I wanted to show you both, how you can use your pattern paper and put pictures. And a picture can go here. We're going to use stickers. We're going to use a 4x6 and stickers. On the back, I'm going to put a vertical picture, you know, another sticker. So this is kind of where I'm going with that. So I've got my 4x6 cards. I've got a vertical photo, a horizontal photo. This is going to be my file folder itself. I already cut a couple different strips out of some scrap. But let's make the file folder. And like I said, I already did one, but then we'll have this one ready for the Christmas one. And when I go to Christmas on the next video, I won't go into so much detail because it is a mirror image. Everything's cut exactly the same and done the same way. But anything that is not done the same way, I'll go into detail. So a lot of that I'll have pre-cut, so you don't have to watch me cut all that once again. Okay, so I just paper clipped the file folder to the left-hand side, flush paper, and then at the top flush, so I don't have to worry about trying to cut that out. Getting as flush as I can here, holding that down. And then I'm simply going to draw around it. Just simple, easy peasy. This, like that. My cutting skills are not the best, and I'll show you kind of how I get around it. And then you see these lines here in the center, just kind of little dots. those are, tells you kind of where your score line needs to be. So I'm just gonna lift this up, or scoot it back actually would make more sense, and just kind of make a little mark there, but it's going to be about 5 inches from this tab, about 5 1/8 from that tab. Doesn't have to be perfect, but that's kind of how it works out. So I just put you some little hash marks there just to kind of help you. So what I like to do is put this in my trimmer, line this up, the long line here as best I can, and trim it to give me a straight line. And then the only other thing I do is I'll trim this long line here at the top of the tab. And that's about all I can do with my trimmer. So the rest of it, I'm going to get my detail scissors out. And I'm going to kind of go around and make that file folder shape. I'll get my longer scissors to do these long pieces. I find I do a better job and don't get it so jagged when I do that. I'm just going to kind of cut that out, and I'll go back with my detail scissors. So on the ends, I can't cut and talk at the same time, obviously. On these ends, what I'll do is use my corner rounder instead of trying to do that piece. So go here and up and go here. This is the only bad part, unless it's good for left-handed people. Go this way. And it won't be perfect, but it's, you know, it's handmade. And so I'm going to grab my corner rounder on 1/4 inch. I'm going to do these corners here. So now I've got kind of a perfect end here. I'm going to do the other side diagonally, 1/4 inch. I would have done that on some of these other ones, like right here, but the way this is built, it won't let you. And there's one other side here you can do that on. Just like that. Cute. Okay. Now I'm going to get my scoreboard. And on this shorter tab, because I think I wrote it wrong, but on the shorter tab here is where it's about 5 inches away. So here's my mark. Stylus, yeah, it's right on the 5 here. So on the short side, 5 inches, just like that. Okay. And then just simply fold. Get your little imperfect but cutesy file folder. All right, so now let's get started making this. Move all my tools. Like I say, I keep losing room because all my tools keep coming closer and closer. Excuse me, I'm drinking my breakfast here. So let's go back to page 15. That's kind of where we are. Taking a look at this gift thanks. So this is going to come together relatively quickly because we have a lot of it pre-cut. So I'm going to go back on this gift thanks, and on that 1/4 inch side, I'm going to corner around the top 2 corners. So they'll kind of, you know, match up these corners here. And then these I'm going to leave straight because this down here is straight. So I like the looks of that here. And then we're just going to gussy it up with some washi tape. Look, of course we don't have washi tape, but what we do have is stickers and long lengths, so we can kind of give it that look of washi. So I'm just going to open this up to make it a little easier. I think on this one what I did is I put the long side in the front. I mean, you wouldn't have to do it this way, but since I did it in the sample, that's what I'm going to do. Long side in the front, like this. I'm going to open it. Kind of help me eyeball it. It's funny the things that we go back and learn hindsight when we're making albums, and I was so proud of myself that I had thought about cutting this a little bit longer to get that little bitty decorative piece and not have to put something else there. It's really kind of funny. Okay, I'm going to leave my glue open because I am going to be using it to put a little more glue on these stickers because this is going to get a lot of wear. So what's left of your acorn strip, just take that off because we have used it before. And you just kind of want to eyeball from this long tab here about what you're going to need. So I'm going to cut it off right there, and then I'm going to keep it. Just going to put it on the side of my desk here. And then I'm going to tear the bottom with my fingers and tear the top to kind of give it a washi torn look. Kind of tear it toward me on both sides. Yeah, that's easier said than done on that one. Let me get it started. Man, that's some strong sticker. Or either I got weak fingers. But yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. I've known that I don't have any strength in my hands and arms. My sister, when we move stuff around, she is amazing at the strength in her arms. I don't know where she gets it from. She works a desk job just like me. But she has a lot more strength in her hand and arms than I do. Okay, so now I'm just gonna kind of put this here at the top, at the tab, kind of give it a little color and kind of looks like it's washi holding down this. And then I forgot to put glue on it. That's fine. Maybe we'll just hope that little sticker stays in place. So then this is what was left over. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to anchor it to the bottom right-hand side. Just like so. Like it's kind of holding down that piece. And then let's go for a couple more stickers. So on the sample, I used this orange leaf here, and I used this fall right here underneath the owl. I really want to use the owl somewhere. I don't know if I ever did. I need some more hole punches, the circle punches. I've broken a couple of mine recently, so I'm just going to put this up in the corner where these two intersect so that I can use things like that. I used to have a lot of them. I guess they deteriorate over time. I don't know, because I know I have broken them. And then I'm just going to layer the fall over the leaf like that. Here we go. Cute, huh? Simple, cute, using the elements that you have. My mom and I were talking the other day, and sometimes it's very difficult to figure out how to use stickers. Let's do the back. Especially smaller ones. It's like, how do people use those? Oh, I found my tag I was looking for. I see it over there. It's funny. So I flipped it over to the back. Excuse me. And then I'm going to put a photo here. I'm going to gussy it up here with some strips of paper and another sticker. Right here more toward the fold or to the right. Okay. So just cut a 3/8 of an inch strip off some scrap, and I'm just going to glue it kind of right in the center of that tab. Kind of something to get started with here. And then once we put it on the tab, then we'll kind of trim off what's left to get our tab shape back in. I guess I need to start drinking coffee or something so my throat's not so scratchy. I don't know. I think there's a lot of pollen in the air too, which makes no sense. It's fall, or almost fall. I want it to be fall so bad. Can you tell? Working on fall projects. Tired of being hot. Okay, so I just kind of cut around there from the back. Got this little piece that's wanting to fly away. Here we go. Put my black back on there. And now I'm going to go for this sticker that says pumpkins. I really like it. And there's all kind of ones you can choose from, of course. So now I would really be thinking through this if you're going to put a photo here. Maybe you don't want to put your sticker down right now, or maybe you want to put some powder behind it so that you can put your sticker down and still be able to get your photo in. Let me see if I can find my powder. Gotta keep it in this baggie because it's kind of messy. This is my embossing powder bag. So I'm going to try to take some of that powder off the side and do it over my garbage. Okay, so now I've got powder on this side, so it's not sticky, but it's sticky over here. But since I'm sure powder got everywhere, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on that left-handed side and kind of come down right here. Hold that in place for a second. So now when I come back, I can just slip my photo in there and not have to worry. So any type of powder works for that. Baby powder is what I used to use before I got one of those embossing tools. I'm gonna go back into the center now. Take this 4x6 card. Like I said, you could have chosen different ones if you wanted to. I love how they put this burgundy-ish color with the fall colors. It is perfect for that. So I thought this had enough white space to it where I could do a little bit of journaling on it. Wouldn't have to do too much, but it's so cute. I love how it's got the this little swag going on at the top. And back here, because I wanted to do a little bit of journaling, like I said, about family traditions. So here, so this would also look good here, so that would give you more journaling space. I think that's what I'm going to do this time. This takes up a lot of white space here, but if you wanted more journaling space, you would want to put it right here. That's what I'm going to do this time, because I actually do want to talk about, line that up to where the top of the white starts. I say line it up, it's crooked. Come on, thing. There you go. Now, there we go. Now I've got some journaling space here. And so see, I like to kind of anchor it here, and there's a lot of empty space. So let's do this little collage. What I did there is I found a pumpkin right here, and then right next door, I took this little bitty blue acorn, and then I did do a heart in red, but it's not that one, it's smaller. I think it's this one up here, the one I chose. So when you're choosing, you want something that coordinates, but you need to think about size too, if you can, and also the different colors. So see, I've got 3 different colors here, 3 different sizes, but they still coordinate with what I'm working on, so that's just perfect. So first I'm going to start in the corner with my pumpkin. I'm going to go with this little acorn. And you're still going to have, I mean, we've used a lot of these stickers, but you're still going to have some left, so you can make cards and do that at an angle. Or you can come back and, like some of this white space here, put some more down. Here we go. And then I like to put that third one just kind of right in the center to kind of pull those together like that. All right, so lastly, I'm going to put one here, so I'm just going to put a horizontal photo right here, kind of 1/8 of an inch from the score line, and then that gives me all of this room to decorate. So this time for the tab, I am going to use this sticker here. Kind of something to get it started. Of course, it's always going to be too big to get started. And then I try to leave a little bit of the black space at the top and then line it up just like that. So I just kind of line it up like that. We'll see it's got a little bit of the black at the top. If it's showing it, there you go. And I forgot to ink it. Can I still ink it? Not really. Okay, I'm just going to fake it. It'll look messy, but that's okay too. I'd rather it look a little messy than tear my paper. Then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm just going to trim this up. So I said this is the one that's difficult because it's like if I was left-handed, that would work so much better. There we go. I have a little piece that's, there we go, stuck on the back. Came over to the front. Okay, let me clean up my area. I got little pieces of sticker everywhere. All right, so there's our foundation to give us some color. So then I took just another little strip. This is 1/4 inch. And it can go from all the way to the edge. See how this one is a little bit thicker on this one. Or just to the end of the photo, which I think I kind of like, but I like this coming up here. And I think I'll go to the end of the photo. So that's gonna be right about 6. I'm gonna mark it here. Because it's such a little bitty piece, I think I can just snip it. Okay, add a little ink to that. And we are basically done. Almost done anyway. With the fall side, we had to do our tags. So we've done pretty good on time. That just kind of fit right there in that little slot good. Did not plan that. Usually it overlaps a little bit. Okay, so now let's see what we've got for stickers. On this one I used this little swag looking piece here. I tried it in a few different places when I was designing. I really wanted to use this really bad. And I just could not ever work it in the way I liked it. So I decided to just cut it apart and use some of it here. So see, I used 3 pieces. These 3 pieces here on your sticker sheet is this right here. So I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to trim it right where it swags up like that. So see, I just kind of trimmed it right there. And then I'm going to go back and just kind of make it rounded with my scissors. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I didn't want it to look so blunt and straight because the other side doesn't. And then just kind of add a little bit of ink, kind of pull this together. Now we can lay this over here, but I need to do the same thing with the, I just thought about that, with the powder, because this is going over my picture. So I'm just going to powder the very bottom of my leaves. So now those are not sticky on the bottom. And then I'm going to make sure I've got a little bit of glue at the top in case the powder went up there. And then I'm going to glue this as close to the top of the tab as I can. I'll hold it up in just a second. Just like this. So I put that as close to the top of the tab as possible. And then I hope I've got it where I can still get my picture in here. Well, it's still a little sticky. I guess I didn't do a good enough job. There we go. So I still should be able to get my photo in there later. Uh-oh. No, 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 no. Come back. Oh, let me try that one more time. A little too aggressive, a little too aggressive. There we go. All right, little piece, I'm gonna leave you alone. I'll deal with the putting that picture in there later. Okay, cute, cute, cute. Isn't that neat? And we just used an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and basically scraps that we have. All right, so in our little album, let's open this up. So this is gonna go here, and then if you wanted to put any 3x4 cards that you had left over, let me see. Just like this one is what I did last time. Because Thanksgiving to us has always been about our family getting together and having a nice big meal with everybody. You know, growing up, it was my grandmother's house, and then after my grandparents passed, it's been my mom and daddy's house. So you might want to just tuck one in there, or basically do this one and give yourself some room to journal. So that looks really cute. And then here's my tag I found over here. I'm like, where is my tags? So I'm gonna go ahead and get a large, a medium, and a small tag. Here's a 3x4 cut apart, already done. And I'll show you this one. And I'm going ahead and get, let me see, my 2 colors of my fall ribbon, which is this apricot looking and this kind of straw looking. So the straw one you're going to use twice. So you want to just fold it in half, just kind of approximate, and then cut it in half. Whoops. Just like that. All right, so there's your ribbons. So for this first one, this largest one, it's a 4x8 tag, and we're going to cut off about 1.25 inches to make it fit into our album. Okay. I'll tell you kind of what I'm left with, because that was approximate. I had already taken the time to ink this up, so I'm going to ink that back up. So now I'm at, 6 3/4 by 4. So this is where I would put a photo here. Once you get a photo developed, like here's a 4x6, all you have to do is just trim it down the slightest bit in both directions, and it'll fit straight on here. So we're going to do that, and we're going to take this one of these straw colored, there was an actual name of this, but now I can't remember what color that was, and stick it through. So what I did is I fold it in half. I take that loop then and put it through the top of the hole and push it through. So now I've got my loop coming from the back. I've got my tails in the front, so I'm going to take my tails and pull it through that loop and pull it. And I'll do that a couple more times. The way I like to do my tails is I take my ribbon and fold it in half. Take my scissors, starting on the outside bottom and angling up like this. If you can see my scissors angle like this toward my fingers, just not getting my fingers. And that way you'll get a perfect little ribbon tail or dovetail. I won't say perfect, but that's kind of like how I like to do mine anyway. And then this seam binding, if you do it between your fingers a little bit, it'll just stress out, which is kind of what I want. And then this will go in the back. You put a photo here and just make sure you work it until you get all the way down to the bottom of the pocket. If you do, it will fit, which is a tiny bit of room at the top. If you find that your pocket is not cooperating and it's getting stopped on it, just take your ruler and put it down in here and just kind of push this down and get it where it opens up just a little bit without, breaking anything or ripping anything open. And that sometimes will help you the next time kind of get this in there a little easier. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to close this back. So now let's work on the tags for the front. See, I like how these stick out. Love, love, love. So here are these two. So this small one, you can go and put any type of patterned paper that you've got left over. And I'm going to give you a sample on the medium size one. Or you can save it for a crop down photo or print your photos a little smaller. We made a small mini album of my grandbaby at Christmas, and we printed some of our photos where they would be 4 on a 4x6. I don't know if that's a wallet size or not. And it made the cutest little album. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. I have to show it to you sometime. So this is somewhere, let me see. Yeah, so it's the very bottom of this one, on the bottom of page 16. This is 3 1/8 by 6 1/4 tag. I cut a 3x4 cut apart out, and I went ahead and inked the edges. And then I made a couple of other things cut out of strips, 1 1/4 by 3 1/8, so it would match up. So what I like to do, just to kind of, since I don't have lots of tons of paper left over. I just kind of fake it. And I put this one strip at the top, almost covering up the hole, but not quite. Just like this. See, I just kind of overlap it at the bottom here. And then this piece, I like to put flush with the bottom of the tag, like that. And then even though there's a little bit of white space on the side, your eye really doesn't see there's anything wrong with that, right? So I wanted to put the little fox on here, so I'm gonna wait about gluing this to look at my spacing. So I'm gonna grab my stickers. I'm gonna grab what's left here of my scraps. And this little fox here in the bottom right corner, I'm gonna take him off, ink him up. He's so cute and still so trendy. Let's see if he'll fit here. No, but he'll fit on this one. That's why I keep all my little strips until I'm done with my project, and then I can decide if it's worth keeping or not. So now this one, see, I hope I make good decisions. It's a little more difficult for me to cut, like I say, when I glue it down, to kind of see. I tell my nephew that when he goes places and I'm with him, and when he walks away from us, make good decisions. We went to New York City last summer, and that's what I would say. And he started, first he rolled his eyes, then he started laughing about it. Okay, so if we, so you might want to put this more up toward the top and put your fox here, or you might decide that you like it kind of centered between those two strips and put your fox here. That's cute. Yeah, I think I'm gonna center it. That was a good trip. My nephew was 15 last summer. He just turned 16. And my niece, I guess she must have been 18. She was in her first year of college, because I think that was her senior trip is why we went on it. So I went a little bit higher than center. And she really wanted to see New York City. We went and saw a play on Broadway that she picked out. And it was very good. She really enjoyed it. Of course, we wanted to see Hamilton, but you know, that's like impossible to get into unless you want to pay $1,000. So we saw something different. And she has such a good eye for that type stuff. Oh, it was really good. We bought the tickets, of course, months and months in advance. And the weekend before we got there, it won all the Tony Awards. It was great. I wish I could think of the name of it. She's going to be so mad at me. Hadestown's what it was. So the kids kind of enjoyed Philadelphia, but they really loved New York City. There we go, just like that. Isn't that cute? So this kind of pulls all these colors together. So I'm going to do the same thing with the ends. So you have a little bit of ribbon to work with if you like your ends shorter or longer. Of course, that's personal preference. I'm going to fluff this out. I didn't cut that one really well, but that's okay. Call that the distress look. And something else I'll point out too. Since we have all these layers here, if you have a problem getting your tags in here, just come from the side. I like to kind of take mine from the side and kind of swoop it in there to hold this down. Just like that. And then I would put a photo here, or you could do the same type thing as we did with this tag. But for now, I like this clean look. So this is what we've got so far. So we have this tag. We have this tag decorated. I would put a photo here. I would flip this up and put a photo here. So you could put one here. So let's count as we go. Let's see. One, we'll count this as just one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 if you decorate it just like I did on this side, 10. So let's open this up. 11. So you could absolutely get 12 in here if you omitted one of these cards here or one of them here, or made you and just put one in here, or put an extra one there. So I'm saying the way I have it designed now, you could absolutely get 11 to 12. So if we said 12, then you can get 24 photos in this when we're done. 12 on both sides. Isn't that adorable? And so that kind of holds that down together. Okay, so we're almost at an hour. So when I come back tomorrow, that should be our last video, and we will do the Christmas all the way through. I'll have all my papers pre-cut for you if it was exactly the way we did on the I want to say Halloween, on the fall side. If it's exactly how we did it on the fall side, I'm just going to have them pre-cut and put them together with you. But then there are some things that was not, that I did a little different, so we'll do that together. See how I made this tag just like the other one, but look how different it looks. Isn't that cool? I love how paper does that. So we'll do this together because it is different. But I'm going to go ahead and have my stickers cut out and matted because that's very time consuming. And this is different, so we'll do that together. See, like these stickers, how I've got them matted. Like this. I'm going to go ahead and mat them and just be ready. And then we will do this together. I love how the different papers make it look so different, even though it's basically the same formula. Love that. Okay. Whoops. Fine, just grab hold on this one. Love. Okay, so I will see you here same time tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central. And if you decide to make one of these, because all of my kits as of yesterday are sold out. I am so extremely grateful to you guys. I'm so blessed. I was just blown away that within 10 days the kits had sold out. But if you decide to make one of these, please put a photo of it over on our Facebook group, Lisa Wise Designs. And if you want to make one of these with your own paper, since the kits are all gone, it's very easy to do. You can also pick up the tutorial, and it's very reasonable. I believe it's $7.99 for the tutorial. And you just download it, and all it is basically this here, which is like 22 pages with everything in it, and it tells you step by step, and you just apply that with your own cardstock and your own paper pack. Okay, see you this time tomorrow. Thank you guys. Bye.